They had their own cash, they used it. Within 1 week it disappeared. What happened? It was all a fake ATM. And the persons who established it had swapped or some have wrong access to all these cards, whatever they have used, and all the bank accounts of the persons who used, they were empty. So that is how it was grossly missed. All of them turned out to be criminals and they are being tortured differently. So if the knowledge is utilized in such wrongful purposes, it may become counterproductive. On the other hand, if some calamity occurs by using your technology, you have some immediate solution for them. That will be a useful society, useful purpose, and you will be helping the society and helping ourselves. So that is the discrimination one should have. Just as having access to weapons are. Weapons, they may be utilized to save country and save oneself, but the same weapon can be utilized to commit crime also. Therefore, at this level, you have to be very, very cautious and to be guided by certain principles as to what is the knowledge which is useful to us and which is not useful. With respect to subjects also, there is bound to be strict competition. Competition is the hallmark of any study or for that matter any institution. Without competition, wisdom or the merit would not come out. Merit will come out only when there is competition. But there are two types of competitions. One which is guided by wisdom, the other guided by envy. If envy is there, if you just think about what the other man is getting so many marks, he is getting so many chances, you will further go down on account of that envy. On the other hand, if you admire the person who is wiser than you will become more wiser and more enterprising. Whether it is in the course of studies or employment, that always you have to keep the distinction between an enemy of this time and the other way. The enemy, then you may come across persons who just go on arguing something, all just contest everything, compare everything, all illogical logics and all that. Just discarding. Upeksha is discard. Don't have any discussion with him, just ignore him. If you keep these four aspects, Maitri, Karuna and Mudra Upeksha, you will be a successful person and you will not have any tension anywhere. Now, studies, you know, you had the advantage of admitted in an autonomous college where the courses are taught, the syllabus is framed with utmost caution, and the teaching is also the concentration is about what happens after you pass out of the college. I have seen in the college, in the office, that there is good amount of placement. The college is taking every college and the JKC are taking every possible steps to have good placements for you. The statistics there are really encouraging. It is really gratifying to know that an institution functioning in a place like Warangal has recorded so much of success. Similar activity may be going in other colleges, particularly professional and engineering colleges. The youth of nowadays are indeed enrolled with great responsibility, and the amount of hard work you are undertaking is phenomenal. Had you studied with the half amount of your attention, you would have been something else. Studies in our days used to be a casual affair, but you are taking so much of pains even at the stage of intermediate and thereafter, one really should commend the effort made by you. If India can be proud of anything nowadays, of course some other thing there, it is this dynamic youth which is plenty, and no other country in the world has this much of dynamic youth which can shape the country's future. Only thing is, just as plenty of water is there, unless it is properly regulated, it becomes a flood. If it is properly utilized, it will become a source of irrigation and source of drinking water. The difference is only that. Plentiness is always a boon, but there it doesn't end there. It should be properly channelized. Now, it all depends on the careers which you choose and the manner in which you pursue the career which comes to you. Now, in the context of career, I am not an expert in the employment field, now I am expert in the management. But this much I can say, that once you pass out of the college, do not hesitate to accept the employment of any kind, whatever, which is commensurate with your degree and qualification. It may be desirable to get the employment in the most reputed company. If it comes, well and good. But if it is not there, don't hesitate to join the one which comes instead of being idle. Now, two things may happen after you join there. The company or the agency which recruits you may not be able to offer the salary of your liking, but there you will get your first opportunity to put your knowledge into practice. Although you have studied, and that will be an occasion for you to put your knowledge to practice. At that stage, at the threshold, at the beginning of your career, what is important is, irrespective of the salary that you are getting, put the best of your effort. Then two things may happen. One is, the agency which was hitherto not able to pay you or languishing, on account of your effort, may improve its performance, and the employer himself may offer you a fabulous salary, depending on your performance. Or, even if you go out, you will get this experience. On account of the experience which you gain here, you will get a better job also. Therefore, even if the salary at the beginning is somewhat less, it should be an occasion for you to prove your ability. Once the employer also knows that you are putting the best effort and you are a useful person for the organization, either he may come up to your expectation and offer better salary, or you may be certified to be a candidate, be paid a better offer. Many a time, people express their dissatisfaction toward the employer because they were not able to provide the salary of their choice. But don't think something. You are not going to be a permanent person there. You have only to pass on after gaining experience. For the sheer fact that he has provided you employment, be thankful to him. No harm is done. On the other hand, if you hate him, if you have any grievance in him, that negative tendency increases in you. With that increased negative tendency, your potential will be substantially reduced. Therefore, even if something is not up to your liking there, do not develop hatred. Till you happen to leave the institution or organization, don't express your hatred. Be thankful to him first for the sheer fact that he has provided employment, then you can switch over. Now, most of the dissatisfaction is on account of the inadequate demand limits. Your expectation would be some 20,000 or 50,000 depending upon your qualification. There you will be getting a smaller amount. The best way of reducing our dissatisfaction is to learn to live within the available means. If you can shape your life to that, it will be well and good if the heavy amounts are paid as salaries. But in a given situation, if the salary is a smaller amount, no harm as instead of being idle, you can work with that amount and you can reduce the level of your satisfaction by learning to live within the available means. This is the message conveyed by not ordinary persons, but even great people like Mahatma Gandhi and Dr. Rajendra Prasad. They always say the best way of reducing the satisfaction and thereby the disturbance is for one to first know what is his means, what are his means, what is his income, and how best you can live with that framework. Otherwise, if you frame your lifestyle for which requires a sum of 50,000 per month and your income is only 20,000, you are bound to be dissatisfied and thereby unrest. Then you will keep on hating this man, your employer, everyone. Therefore, for you and everybody, not only here but even at any stage of life, the best way to avoid dissatisfaction is to learn to live within the known means. That the virtue which anybody can adopt for any stage of the life. Now, whether you are at the threshold of the career or at an advanced stage, never feel that whatever you have learned is all and final. It should be a continuous process. Continuous process, there is no end for it. And as and how you progress, even there we have seen scientists, bureaucrats, and even accountants, even in the 60s and 70s, still continuing to study. And that way, particularly in your fields, whatever studies you are undertaking here are not static. With each year, there are inventions, there are advancements and discoveries. It is always better to update your knowledge with that, and thereby you can get excellence. But as I said, it is always better to have the habit of competition, whether with your fellow student or fellow employee, but competition must always be healthy than the one guided by envy. This is something about your career knowledge. But nowadays we are seeing most of the youngsters not paying proper attention to their families. Families in the sense maintaining, structuring your own family. You pay equal importance to the human relations, whether vis-a-vis the therefore it may not be necessary to have all this paraphernalia. Sorry for the disturbance. Now, we are seeing in various modes that the family affairs of persons, particularly from information technology, don't think otherwise. I am only giving a just passion like thing. And how the people are becoming more and more educated, their family affairs are becoming somewhat delicate. The reason is they are paying naturally more attention to their studies, their employment, and unless they keep pace with the society, they may not be able to survive. But in the process, they are not able to pay proper attention to their own personal matters. That is equally important, because for a human being, a respectable life is more important. Your employment is only means, not the end. Kindly maintain the distinction between the means and end. The proper end for a individual, proper aim, the actual aim for an individual is to live a respectable and proper, peaceful life. Employment is a means to achieve that. Somebody may choose employment, somebody may choose establishment of his own unit, or social service, or politics, or these are only various means. But actually, it should be to lead a respectable life. That we have to defend for ourselves. How I should be, what my relationship should be with my parents, my brothers, the rest of the society, my neighbor, what I owe to the society. Because the human being cannot think in isolation. You can just poorly think. Today you may be a successful student, tomorrow you may be a successful employee, and thereafter a successful entrepreneur. Teachers are guides and so on and so forth. Therefore, it is equally important to maintain pay proper attention to your own person, because I am telling you out of my experience in the recent past. Sometimes it will be really shocking to see as to how the persons with so much of knowledge, such big employment, are landing before courts unable to adjust with their spouses and others. Therefore, here itself, kindly tune yourself and define your own priorities so that tomorrow the problems are not faced. That adjustability, that respect towards elders, and all that must be tuned right now. In our temptation, because surroundings are many, it may be tempting to go for some adventures and all that. But at the same time, also enterprising you may be in your career and education, unless you define yourself what you should be, to be a respectable citizen. Temptation in you is always welcome. At the same time, it should not lead to any negative results as and how you grow. This I intend to emphasize today, because nowadays it is not difficult to obtain jobs and all that, but best thing is, but very difficult is to maintain a good family with changing circumstances. Our generation, particularly your generation, is at crossroads. Earlier, the courses, the drawing courses were not so many, but today the necessities are many. The attitude towards other individuals, our own family members, our own friends, is undergoing a lot of change. Therefore, it is always better to pay some attention. Whether you recently you are seeing another tendency. On the road, some accident occurs. The person is bleeding, but the other passes by. Just they simply pass on, think that why I should bother about it. That tendency is not proper. If you come across any trouble for any third party or any person, as a human being, your heart must open and come what may. First and foremost thing is, you should think what best I can do to a person who is in trouble. That is human being, that is human tendency. Unfortunately, our selfishness nowadays is increasing in such a way that we have seen many recent some examples also. The person was just bleeding and he was after some accident in Uttar Pradesh, I think. Accident occurred, the person was just he was bleeding, and because nobody was passing through ignorance, nobody has paid attention, the person died there. There are many instances like that. Even in our immediate neighborhood, something occurs. First, we should think of the very fact that you thought of helping others itself is 50% of your humanity. And if time and occasion permits, go to his rescue. That is how the humanity develops, and otherwise not. How our education is turning out to be somewhat counterproductive, I will give you an example. I gave this example in the morning also. In Guntur district, one person, he studied up to 5th class. His parents were unable to provide education to him further. Therefore, he became a child labor. Now, one day, he was doing that very labor under a mason in a neighboring village. There, a a boy of 4 or 5 years fell into a borewell, abandoned borewell. Then parents were crying, everybody was crying, and 99% of the instances there, a boy falls into borewell, is gone, he is dead. But this man, he was so courageous and brave, and more than all that, his humanity was so profound that he asked the persons there to tie a rope to his legs and drive him in inverted condition to the borewell. He went there, he was driven like that. You can imagine whether a boy or a person can go into the borewell in a inverted condition, even if one person outside also, if we just invert in an inverted position, if you hang like that, what will be the condition? But all the same, the boy went up to the bottom of the borewell and brought the boy who fell into that after the borewell. When about that time, I was invited to the district in a function. I called that boy and honored him along with others. And sad part of it is that he had to discontinue the education on account of poverty, and there was not even a person to honor him for such bravery. And think of the same person who is a well-educated technologist and all that. He doesn't even stop there because he has to attend some movie or some popular club and all that. He has to just in his hurry. Nobody will care for what is happening over there. The unfortunate tendency. Our society was great and respectable because of our kindness to others and kindness to and respectable towards all the surroundings, including nature. There should be tendency, and mind it, your being compassionate to others is not going to cost your career or your study. You can still continue your excellence, be excellent in your studies, but this will be something like adding flavor to gold. Gold itself is valuable, but if gold has flavor, some good smell, it will be like that. Therefore, if you want to turn out to be good citizens, first be good human beings. Thereafter, everything will take care of itself. The